Whenever we start graphing a new type of equation, I always like to start out by making a table and by looking at the parent function. Now with quadratics, we already did see a couple of them in an earlier video. I showed you just so we can get a little vocab down. But I still want to go ahead and graph the most basic quadratic function there is, y equals x squared. Hopefully show you guys why the graph looks the way it does. So we're always going to start out when we graph something strange and new by making a little table right here, little t-charts. And we're going to plug in some points and see what happens. So, 0 is always a good choice. It's usually pretty easy to plug in. And if you do y equals 0 squared is just a 0. So the point 0, 0 is on our graph, and it's going to be right there. I'm going to go ahead and plug in a 1. Again, there's no right or wrong points to choose, but nice small whole numbers are usually good options. If I plug in a 1 squared is going to be a 1. So 1 comma 1 is on my graph. If I plug in a 2 squared is going to be a 4. So 2 comma 4 is on the graph. 2 comma 4. And I'm going to stop right here for a second just so you guys can see. Already, you can see that it's not going up by a steady amount. It's not going to keep going up 1, up 1, up 1 over 1 like it started to right there. Because already to go from 1 to 2, the graph jumped. It only went up 1 to get here, but it jumped 3 higher to get to there. And if you were to plug in a 3, this won't even fit on my picture here. 3 squared is a 9. So 3 comma 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's already off the page by doing that. So you can see a straight line isn't going to do the job here. What actually happens is it starts out by growing gently here, and it starts getting steeper as you go up like that. It's still going over, but it gets steeper. Now I didn't deal with the left side here. I'm going to plug in a few negative numbers. If you plug in a negative 1 squared means negative 1 times negative 1. That's a positive 1. If you plug in a negative 2 squared is positive 4. So you get negative 2 comma positive 4. And that's how you get that symmetric side. Because when you do the negative and you square it, you end up with a positive result. So there is the graph of y equals x squared. In the next video, we're going to learn how you can take that and move it around to get other quadratic graphs.